How's it going, guys? So, it's another day. How's it going, guys? Welcome back. It is Saturday, the last Saturday of deer season, and I'm going back to where I killed my 6-point. Been a lot of different places since then. I tell you what, after I finish this, I'll run a little clip of some things that I've seen here recently. But it is pretty chilly. It's 45 degrees. It is raining it's been raining all day. It's supposed to rain again here shortly. It stopped for a few minutes, I guess. But headed into the stand or shooting house. I don't want to risk getting this thing wet, this camera wet, so we're gonna go sit and see what we can see. I know there's good bucks coming in there. Kalijah, there's the big 6-point that I accidentally let go that y'all seen in the video prior. I got a picture of him in there too, which is a completely different food plot, but only about 500 or 600 yards away. And there's another 8-point in there that's definitely a shooter, and there's no telling what else coming there. Seems like every time I check that card there's a new buck, so we're going back in there. And yeah, we're gonna see what's going on. Y'all stay tuned. I'll talk to y'all when I get into the stand. And yeah, I'm gonna roll a little clip on what I've seen the past few days. I got some in, so I left the bottle out there since it was empty. I went ahead and emptied it, but I put some native scents out hanging up on that tree that's in the food plot. The wind's blowing straight toward me, but it may help. If anything, it should cover up my scent a little bit behind me. But if the wind shifts at all and goes any other directions other than what it currently is, it'll help attract deer. So hopefully. So I got scents out, and in the same place we killed 6-point. So this plot really doesn't need introduction. It's also the same plot I killed my very first velvet 6-point, again with a bow. It's actually her very first video, or that may be the second thing posted, but it's our very first real video on the channel. So if you haven't never seen it, go back and watch it, and you get to see how awkward I am, and even Zach in front of the camera. So y'all check that out if you hadn't already. But we're in, and we're gonna see what happens. Deer ought to move this afternoon. It's been raining. It's slacked up right now, and I think they even pushed the forecast back a little bit. So well, that'll be good to go. Y'all stay tuned. It must be this wind, but they sure aren't at ease. They keep looking up and looking around. Maybe something else come on now. I don't know if it's the same one or not, but it's been like 45 minutes since they left. It may be the same too, I don't know. But they've been gone for 45 minutes. If so, and they went out the other way. Well, there's 3, so probably not the same ones. Waiting on his response, but I believe my dad just shot. He's sitting where I saw that 6 point. Let it get away from me, but maybe not. I mean, maybe it wasn't him. I'm waiting on his response, but I'll keep you updated. Alright guys, so they shot one, and he's already tracked it, but we're gonna go in. I'm gonna help him pull it out and let him tell you a story.
How long do you think that shot is? Look at there. For South Alabama where we hunt, it's a long shot. Ooh. So let me start the story right here.
Yeah,
you ready?
You don't have to talk that loud. Yeah,
all right.
You're good.
So I had 6. I got in the stand. It's a rainy day here in South Alabama, and it's cold too. I mean, when I say cold, it wasn't but in the low 40s, mid 40s, but it was pretty cold with the wind blowing about 15 knots. I'm out of breath still. So this is the plot where I've killed 2 different deer. One of the videos before, and then the deer this year, and 6 does. When I got here today, the spike was in here. The spike that stays in here.
Yeah.
And I run him off because I've had so much misfortune with the spikes that they've been running the does off, you know. And so I run him off, got up in the stand, and don't let me forget my stuff near the stand. And so I got up in the stand. I wasn't in the stand 20 minutes and 6 does and yearlings come out. I didn't put up my binoculars, can't tell you any particulars about them or anything. And so they was out here for a while, probably an hour, and then they was right there, and they all turned around and they bolted. Well, when they did, 8 point walked out. It was an 8 point that I actually saw the other day whenever I shot the 8 point I did the other day. And oh, it was a good hunt. I was watching him, and 2 spikes come out later, and he left, and he come back, and I've been watching him majority of the afternoon. Well, as time's gone on, some does tried to work their way in here, and he come from over here, and there was a doe standing about right here where Cade and I are right now, and he took out after that doe and went up to this lane, and this lane's probably about 60 or 70 yards long, I'd say, and went up this lane. Well, he's a good 8 point. I mean, the only reason you don't shoot him is because the brow tines are short and the G2s are short, but he's a good size 8 point. He's a good 8 point, makes somebody a good 8 point. So when he took off up this lane up this lane after that doe, a bigger buck fell out right behind him, and when he did, he just got me pumped. I'm telling you, I got pumped, and it was a wide buck, and I got my gun on my rail, and I put it up there, and I never did look at it in binoculars. I was looking at it, trying to see it through the scope, and it got to the end of it right there, and the doe had went left, and the other buck had went left, and it got right to the end of that patch, and it stopped, and it peed right there. It put its legs together and peed on its legs. And And I knew that it was now or never. Like I said, I didn't really assess him that well. I knew he was a lot bigger than what I thought. It was a lot bigger than the 8-point.
Well, it's probably the same buck that I accidentally let go, and if you would have let him go, I would have been mad at you.
Right there.
It's blood.
All right, so this is where he's at, Cage. You see, this is the end of the lane right here.
Yeah.
And that other buck went through here. And when he got right here, he stopped and put his legs together and peed. And as soon as I got on him, I shot. And then after I shot, I knew I did it in a hurry. He bolted. And there's one thing that I do know. The only way to hit a deer right is to keep your head in the scope. You know, and I was thinking, I don't know if I did anything right. And so you had mentioned you could tell that it's slightly drizzling rain. The forecast today was for it to rain the whole time. I'm the only one on the whole hunting club today that sat in the stand, right?
I would have.
And that's the reason nobody else killed one, because them deer knew that everybody else was going to be shooting in boxes. They didn't think nobody was crazy enough to shoot things.
Yeah.
So anyway, he went through here, and I tracked him down. And
went ahead and tracked him just because we didn't want the rain to come in.
I didn't have the toilet paper, so I had to use blue rag.
Yeah. If you would let him go, I'd been mad at you.
He's a beautiful buck. He looks like he's dropped probably 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Or 40 pounds, don't he? What do you think?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. When you look at that thing there from a long ways off,
I can tell you, I saw him in person. He's so close knit right here.
yeah. Oh,
I bet you he's gonna. He might get you back.
he might get back. I hope so. Boy, that is beautiful brow tines, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about you today when I was. There's not too many times nowadays you and I get into tracking a buck that we don't have a serious tracking job, that we don't have the other one there. Of course, bow hunting has made Cade and I both very efficient trackers, and Cade's better than I am. But you know, one thing about tracking is you got to be patient and just be able to take baby steps in doing it. And I was getting nervous today because of the rain coming in, and you can tell that the ground's wet now, and it's rained a lot today. Rained last night, rained a lot today. The beam length on this thing's gonna be pretty awesome considering
how much he curls.
Around.
That's pretty insane.
And you know, he's missing a little diameter. Gonna be interesting to see the teeth on him, isn't it? You know, to understand the aging of him. Because the other day when you had him on video, and when you had him on video before, he looked bigger. A picture of before. He looked like he was surely a deer that needed to be taken. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say he's going to be on par with your last buck for his age.
So you know, the question is, we try to manage our bucks out here, and you can tell we got quite a few bucks for our South Alabama Hunting Club, and the question is how do you manage them bucks? When do you take them? When do you not take them? 6 points are always a big issue. Will they be 8 points next year? Usually we have judged that off of tines, in which this one has beautiful time length, you know, and usually we have based that off of time. But this year we've taken a couple of 6 points. Cade's buck was, how old was it?
6.5.
6.5.
Or, no, 7.5.
Yeah.
7.5.
And just contrary to that, Dwayne Baggett killed a nice 6 point that was probably 3.5 or 4, and you don't know if he might have been a good one next year. You don't really know. But
I don't know how old this deer was, but he may have had a little point right there next year, but he wouldn't have ever blew up into something outrageous as far as a 9 or 10 point.
So we used to have this saying at our club, said it sure would have been a good one next year. Now we got this saying where I've let that buck go 2 or 3 times. So anyway, it was a really awesome buck. I'm telling you, whenever that 8 point that I didn't shoot come up that lane behind that doe, and he just darted out of the woods and come in right behind it, and he run about 30 or 40 yards. He run all the way from the point of where you saw him the other day when you almost shot him, all the way up that lane. Well, I'm telling you, when you look at the back of a buck,
I mean,
it makes you want to shoot him. Look at that back of that buck right there. When you look in the back of that buck from probably 125, 140 yards right in there, when he first come out, I mean, I never questioned it, never picked up binoculars, never did anything. I just get my rifle ready. And then when he got to the end and he stopped, I didn't really think I was going to get a shot at him. I thought he was just going to go behind another buck and be gone. And he got right here to the end of the lane, and he stopped, and he put his legs together, and he just peed right there. And whenever I shot him, he was in the peeing position. It was funny because he was kind of squatted in the back end and had them 2 legs bowed in together and was peeing when I shot him. And I really didn't. I really knew that I rushed the shot. I didn't have the confidence in the shot that I normally have. I was already really, really cold. There's probably 10 degrees warmer right now than what it was when I shot the buck. And then I got the shivers. I don't know if it was from being excited or from being cold, but I got the shivers from him. And then I was texting Kay, and Kay said, you might better go look at them before dark with this rain coming in. And I was thinking I even had
like it's supposed to have been pouring rain right now.
Yeah,
and that weatherman isn't very good.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that weather app changes. You better look at it every hour because it changes every hour. Look at that behind him, folks. Look at that right there from behind him. If you seen that thing running away from you, wouldn't it make you want to shoot him? If it ever gets a day that I see something like that running away from me and I don't want to shoot him, I'm probably going to quit hunting.
Yeah. He's an awesome buck.
Yeah, I missed you on my tracking. The whole time I was tracking, you know what I'm thinking?
What?
Boy, I wish I had Kay here with me. Boy, I wish I had Kay here with me. And I had that little two-cell flashlight instead of our DeWalt lights, I'm going to tell y'all, folks, Cade and I use the DeWalt lights for tracking all the time. And if you never bought one of the DeWalt lights, the DeWalt, it's got 3 LED lights and a red one on there. And when you put a 4 amp hour battery on that light, it is extremely one of the best tracking tools we've ever had, isn't it? It added to us. We used to suffer for everything to try to get a good tracking tool.
Yeah, it's hard to find good lights. I think it's about time we need to get him out of here. Get back, that way you can show him off to the guys at the board.
Yeah, he son, on case, so when you look at him from that backside right there, let's give him one more backside look to them. When you look at him from the backside right there, folks, he's as good a buck as I've ever shot, even though I've shot some bigger. But when you look at him at that backside, that really gets you some excitement when he's running away from you. Huh?
Yeah. I'm proud for you.
Thank
I hate you killed my buck. I've been hunting the heck out of it.
Well, Dirty Elvis and him, they just come to me, It's hopefully you got a lot more hunts left than you and I do me. So.
Well, good deal. Well, I appreciate y'all watching and glad y'all were able to come along this ride. But y'all stay tuned and I'll see y'all back in the next one.